Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to the very first episode of FPL Don't Panic. Today I am filming from not so sunny Ireland on a lovely summer's morning. Let's get into it. So, in this first video, I'm going to take you through my game week 1 team. I think I've settled, like most of you. I've had more drafts than a castle over the last few weeks. We've had the Haaland draft, the Salah draft, the Haaland Salah draft, the no Haaland Salah draft, and a lot more besides. I have finally settled. My overall objective this season is for a top 100k finish. I have developed a methodology that I believe will achieve that, and it's based around achieving a 70-point average per game week. Let's get into it. So let's talk defence. What I'm looking to achieve for my defence is an average per game week of 4 points and an average per defender of 5 points. I think this defence can more than achieve that. We'll talk about Pope in goal. 2 years ago, 22-23 season, yeah, he had an absolutely superb season. Newcastle defence was excellent, and Pope in goal was, keeping plenty of clean sheets, and I think there may have been a penalty save or two in there as well. He's already saved a penalty in pre-season. I looked at 4.5s. None of them I'm happy with at the moment. There are quite a few teams. I thought about Henderson, but we're not actually sure who's going to be the first choice at Palace at the moment. So going with Pope, I'm pretty confident he's going to get that 4 points. Back three, we're going with Gavardio, Porro and Munoz. All three of them are capable of hauls, 10, 11, 12 point hauls. All attacking defenders. I think we're going to get an average of 5 points. We may get a week where we have a Gavardio haul and the other two do nothing. But I believe there's a 5 point average there in that defence. So let's talk midfield. What I'm trying to achieve from a midfield is an average of 6 points per player over the next 5 to 6 game weeks. What we got in there? Okay, let's start with Salah. I know people say Salah didn't have the greatest season last year. His numbers were still good. Things, went a little bit downhill after the Africa's Cup, but he's had a full pre-season. He's on penalties. I think he's going to hit the ground running. I want him in my team. First in, absolute lock, Salah. Next, another player, not very highly owned, so it could be quite a nice differentiator. Son was also having a pretty decent season until he went away to the Asian Cup. But again, a player, he's on penalties. He's talismanic in that Tottenham team. And as well as that, at 10 million, he's a good make weight when I want to move, say, to a Foden, possibly in game week 2, or if I need to get to a Palmer. So he's a really good price point to be able to be flexible within that midfield. Eze, wow, he is some player. I love watching him play. He literally glides across the turf, and that boy can haul. 7 million, easy decision. Gordon, thought about Gordon, but absolutely fabulous player, and he just hauls at St James's Park week after week. A little bit lighter on the away side. I'm hoping we see some improvement there, but this is a team for 5 or 6 game weeks. I think he'll hit my 6 point average pretty comfortably. And last but not least by any manner of means, and again, not too highly owned, Bruno Fernandes. United were atrocious last year. I mean, I'm understating it. But he kept returning. And in that last 6 or 7 game weeks, he was showing some tremendous form when United were clearly not. He was hitting 10s and 12s. That midfield, I believe, will comfortably hit the 6 point average. It wouldn't surprise me if they get a lot more than that. So let's talk forwards now. At this stage, you've clearly realised there is no Haaland in this team. Now, I am going to do a video, probably a separate video in the next few days. I'm going to talk more about Haaland. I have a plan. I'm not actually scared I'm going without Haaland, and I'm going to talk more about why that is in the next video that I do. But in the meantime, here's what I've gone with: Isak and Havertz. I just need an average of 7 points each out of those two players. My only concern, maybe Havertz, exactly where he will be playing. It's not really clear in the pre-season, but I can certainly back him in that first fixture or two. Isak is Isak, he's just superb. I'm pretty confident again that we will see a nice average each out of them of 7 points over the next few games. I will actually be without Havertz in a few game weeks time, because I do some manipulations to the team, but yeah, I'm pretty confident with that. That's a really solid 11, and every one of those 11, including Pope, is capable of a haul. So I'm only going to talk very, very briefly about the bench. Apart from the goalkeeper, they are all playing bench players. Only one of them, Barco, I think is actually capable of making that first 11, and I'm hoping I don't have to call on the other two, which I can. They're just bench fodder. Howard, Bellis and Stewart. I think they're both playing. Hopefully I don't have to call them, because I do not want to take hits. That is really important in the overall strategy. It is not worth it. But I think Barco and the first 11 should hopefully get me through those first few game weeks. I've got a fella called Paulson as my reserve keeper. He's just 4 million. I don't think he's even going to be playing. Put him in there for sentimental reasons. I live in New Zealand. I'm not in New Zealand at the moment, as you can clearly see. I'm actually on the west coast of Ireland. But Paulson, he was actually playing for Wellington Phoenix last year. He's actually really, really good. He was making penalty saves. Wellington Phoenix, terrible team. We actually got to the finals. So I'd love to see him get a chance in the first team. It's probably not going to happen, but he is an excellent goalkeeper. He's in there for sentimental reasons. But that's the full team. Now, I project that team will get 63 points without captaincy. So the captaincy pick is all important. And we are going with Isaac. Really, really do think Salah could go very, very well. Isaac, home to Southampton. I fancy he's going to get more than one, but he's going to get at least a goal. He's going to get at least 7 points. And that gets me exactly 70 points. It'll be interesting to revisit this. Obviously, there could be changes. We've got the Charity Shield coming up at the weekend. There could be pre-season injuries, but I'm pretty set on this team, and subject to any injuries or anything else. It's football. Anything could happen. But I'm sticking with this team. I'm backing it, and I'm going to talk more about the omission of Haaland in a future video. So that's pretty much it for this first episode of Don't Panic. If you found it useful, hit like, hit subscribe. I'd love to have you on board. It's obviously my first one, so I think I've got about 1 subscriber at the moment, and he's in New Zealand. He's my best mate, so I'm not sure that really counts. As you can see, I've gone a bit techless at the moment, because I am travelling, so it's pretty much me and my iPhone. In about 4 or 5 weeks' time, it'll get a little bit more graphical, because I will actually need to incorporate some of my spreadsheets and some of my methodology, because that's when it really does start to kick in. In the meantime, highly recommend you look at some of the other content providers on YouTube. There are some absolutely superb ones out there. I follow a lot of them. I get some great information, great content. I'm not sure they agree with a lot of the way I do things, but I think that's what FPL is about. It's having fun, doing things your own way, and above all else, don't panic.